You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. On this Friday, July 6th, we are looking at basically a new hurricane, the first hurricane of the season, Hurricane Beryl, and it is moving toward the islands. Now, yesterday, the Hurricane Center was thinking this would still be a tropical storm at this point, but it has really flared up in terms of intensity, but not size. It is still a very, very small system moving off to the west right now. You can see at one point it had an eye earlier today and a well-defined eye. Now it's starting to break up a little bit more so in terms of the convection around the center, but we are expecting it to continue on a west-northwesterly course. Top winds are at 80 miles an hour now, making it a Category 1 hurricane. It's moving to the west at 15, expected to turn more toward the west-northwest in time. And look at that, a Category 2 hurricane heading into the islands. That just shows you the intensity forecast modeling not all that up to speed with this storm right now. Yesterday at this time again, it was expected to dissipate as it made its way toward the islands. As a Category 2 hurricane could cause significant problems there. Right now it looks like into the central Leeward Islands there, and then eventually high winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, also moving over some hostile environment in terms of pressure systems. It looks like it will weaken to a tropical storm and then head off toward the Dominican Republic. It is not going to have any impact in our weather over the next 5 days, but down the road it certainly may do so. Again, 45-mile-an-hour winds as it heads into the Dominican Republic. And as far as we're concerned, here's the GFS forecast model showing the system approaching the islands. And the GFS doesn't do a lot with it in terms of intensity. It does bring some of the moisture into Florida midweek next week with some moderate to heavy rainfall around. So we'll keep an eye on that. Also, we're watching another area west of Bermuda, which could impact the Carolina coast. In fact, that chance of it developing now is up to 80%. For maybe Chris forming as well. Well, much more on that coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline Scott.
All right, Bob, thank you. And don't forget, throughout the hurricane season, we want to make sure you and your family are prepared in case a storm heads our way. And one way to do that is to watch our hour-long special, Surviving a Hurricane. You can find it on our website, mysuncoast.com, under the Weather Hurricane Center tab. You'll get lots of information about shelters, evacuation routes, pet information, really what you need to do to prepare for a storm. In other news today, we're heading into the last weekend before downtown Venice becomes a construction zone.
An $8 million beautification project on the core streets of downtown will finally start on Monday after months of planning and roadblocks. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez is live in Venice with more on what we could see there. Rebecca?
Good evening, guys. Well, the city of Venice hopes to revitalize the downtown area with this new project, and they'll be rolling out the construction in 6 different phases. The first one beginning on Monday, and it will close down the eastbound lanes of West Venice Avenue between US 41 and Harbor Drive until October. This downtown roadways improvement project will reconstruct Venice, Tampa, and Miami avenues by adding things like drainage systems, installing new landscaping, and having lighted pathways on the crosswalk. The shops and restaurants all along this area of downtown will remain open throughout the entire project, which is scheduled to be completed by February of next year. But later tonight at 6, I'll have more on how this construction will affect the weekly farmers market. Reporting live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Rebecca, thank you so much, and welcome to ABC 7. If you're planning to drive through Northport, you may run into some delays this evening. Right now, traffic is down to 1 lane on Pan American Boulevard between US 41 and Green Street. Stormwater runoff created some erosion under the bridge, and now construction crews are making the necessary repairs. Those repairs should be done by the end of the day. New at 4, a first for the city of Sarasota. This week, the city approving a permit which allows the company Trulieve to open a medical marijuana dispensary. It will be on Beneva Road in the Sarasota Commons Plaza. Trulieve already has 15 facilities in Florida, including one in Bradenton, which opened last year. Trulieve also plans to open a facility on Jacaranda Boulevard in Venice. Now to some new developments in intentional oil dumping near Punta Gorda. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is now in charge of cleaning up hundreds of gallons of oil that was dumped into a ditch on Wednesday. That cleanup could cost as much as $250,000. Deputies are looking for the person responsible, and Crime Stoppers is offering a reward. Get back to Jacqueline now, who joins us with a surprising development in the rescue mission in Thailand. Jacqueline.
Scott, Elon Musk is now getting involved in the ongoing rescue of 12 boys and their football coach in Thailand. He's sending his own engineers from Boeing and SpaceX to the country. The team has been trapped for nearly 2 weeks in a chamber inside of a cave. Overnight, a former Thai Navy SEAL died while trying to bring air tanks to staging areas along the planned escape route. Musk is now offering technology from his tunnel construction company, including equipment used for location tracking, water pumping, and powering batteries. Well, that was a series of explosions that ripped through a fireworks workshop in New Mexico City, leaving 24 people dead and 49 injured. At least 4 firefighters and 2 police officers rushed to the scene after the first explosion, only to be killed by a second wave of blasts. Video shows a massive plume of smoke rising from that area. 2 people are in the hospital after a small plane crashed on the east coast of Florida. The pilot is in critical condition while the passenger is expected to recover. The Federal Aviation Administration says the plane's left landing gear collapsed. That plane then veered off a runway and burst into flames. President Trump is just days away from announcing his Supreme Court pick. His top 3 contenders are federal appeals court judges Amy Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and Raymond Kethledge. After the announcement on Monday night, the White House will begin an aggressive PR pitch to get that nominee confirmed. The nominee could make their first visit to Capitol Hill to meet with senators in the following days. Let's send it back to Scott for a reminder to animal parents as those temperatures heat up here on the Suncoast. Scott?
Well, Jacqueline, we're in the thick of summer, and animal experts say it's best to leave your pets at home instead of bringing them along with you to run errands. The American Veterinary Medical Association says the temperature inside your car can get almost 20 degrees higher than the temperature outside in just 10 minutes. So if you see a pet left in an unattended car, you should call police immediately to get them to that location right away. It is legal, by the way, in Florida to break into a hot car to save a pet. Scuba diving teams are getting ready to go after an invasive species this weekend. The 5th annual Sarasota Lionfish Derby kicks off tonight, and dive teams will go out early tomorrow morning. They'll be searching the Gulf for lionfish, which are a non-native species and have invaded the waters around Florida.
Fun for the divers, they get to harvest these fish. It's beneficial for the environment because it takes some of that pressure off our native populations.
The Derby starts tonight with a captain's meeting. Mote Marine Lab will host a weigh-in on Sunday at noon, and then local chefs will be there preparing lionfish dishes. I hear it's a delicious fish to eat. More eyes and ears on the streets of Holmes Beach, what the police department is asking the community to do to help them better serve the area. Plus a donut shop donation drive, what one restaurant is doing to help the family of one of their most beloved customers. And a cat in the Panhandle is capturing the hearts of thousands across the internet. We'll show you why.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 10th anniversary Sarasota Improv Festival, July 12th, 13th, and 14th, featuring 3 days of nonstop comedy with over 75 of the hottest improv groups from all over. From New York City, Atlanta, Austin, Boston, Chicago, LA, Spain, France, and more. Featuring 3 headliners including Baby Wants Candy, Impro Theater, and Impro Madrid. Critics have called the festival high energy, hilariously funny, and never short of amazing. Tickets and passes are now on sale at 941-366-9000 or floridastudiotheater.org.
Hello, I'm John Merce. Rugs As Art is celebrating yet another anniversary, and I would personally like to thank each and every one of you for the many years of continuous support. All during the month of July, we're having a grand celebration. We have flooded our showroom with yellow tag specials, meaning more discounts and more savings than ever before, plus free padding. So don't miss this anniversary celebration at Rugs As Art, Sarasota's bigger and better area rug superstore.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man.
and glove.
Oh man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Police solve crimes. Jackie?
Scott, the chief tells me that a few cases in the past, from releasing those surveillance videos, they actually were able to catch the suspect pretty quickly. Now the new program called Rascal allows officers to identify where cameras are around town to help solve crimes. All people have to do is notify the police where they have a camera, and the police then store that into a secure database. Then if there is a crime, police can check that database and see if it was possibly caught on camera. If it was, they will release that to the public to help identify the suspect. Now the chief says that this does not invade anyone's privacy because they cannot see the footage without getting it released to them. Scott, back to you.
All right, Jackie, thank you so much. In other news, one Manatee community is trying to give back to the family of a man who dedicated his time to them. The farmhouse in Bradenton collecting donations today and tomorrow for Nicholas Wilson's family. Wilson was a volunteer paramedic and worked for Manatee Memorial Hospital. He was recently killed while bike riding. The farmhouse was one of Wilson's favorite places to eat, so the owners decided to hold a fundraising event to help his family. Now let's get back to Jacqueline. She's in the newsroom now for a look at what's trending. Jacqueline?
Scott, one video circling on social media is a good reminder of why it's not safe to drive under the influence. Take a look at this video. A suspected drunk driver crashing into a house in Pennsylvania going 80 miles an hour. The driver was running from the cops when he slammed into the side of a woman's house. The homeowner later learned that the man did not have insurance, and she's now stuck paying thousands of dollars in deductible costs. The driver faces a wide range of charges. And a Florida feline is getting the royal treatment. Meet Moose the cat, who frequents a Publix in Pensacola. The cat is so well liked, a couple who shops at the store gave them this Moose Crossing sign. The store put the sign up in the parking lot. Now Moose even has his own Facebook page dedicated to him, which has now become a sort of a fan page, with people posting pictures of Moose that they have snapped at the Publix and others just proclaiming their affection for him. Well, alligators are a pretty common sight here in Florida, but you don't always run into pigs roaming around. We shared this picture on our Facebook page of a St. Petersburg police officer who found two pigs wandering outside of someone's house. Officers rounded them up into a patrol car for a ride to the animal shelter. They still have not found out who the owners of those pigs are. Well, if you're looking for a sweet way to cool off this weekend, then look no further than to get some ice cream with the Sarasota Police Department. Take a look. The department posted this picture on their Twitter, inviting the public to come out and meet those protecting our community. You can stop by at Culver's on University Parkway tomorrow from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Stop by with your family and friends, meet the officers, enjoy some games, and get a discount on your kids' meal. Great way to cool off in this heat. And speaking of the heat, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for what we can expect for the weekend ahead. Bob?
Well, I'll tell you, we had the cloud cover today, which really limited the shower activity because there wasn't enough heat to really generate that lift that you normally get this time of year. For the most part, that cloud cover as a result of a low pressure system that is west of the state. There's also a low in the upper levels of the atmosphere north of the state, and those two coming into play right now, not producing much rainfall, but a lot of cloudiness around, and that has kept the heat at a minimum. There are some showers. They're isolated down into Charlotte County right now. We're going to look at one right now near Port Charlotte. You can see how the wind is kind of blowing the tops off to the east. This is eventually, I think, going to move off into the interior portions of Charlotte County right now near Punta Gorda. Some heavy weather, some lightning there, but nothing going on in Northport right now. Port Charlotte, you're okay at this point. As I mentioned, the outflow could cause some isolated showers to pop up near Northport in about an hour or so. But this storm in particular was a little stronger just about 15, 20 minutes ago. It was up to 40,000 feet. Now that's dropped down to 30,000 feet. So that would indicate that it is weakening. There is the possibility of some small hail to the east of I-75. That chance, though, very small at this point. Well, the overall forecast is calling for showers and storms to gather into the central portion of the state tonight. Not much along the immediate coastline. So if you have plans outdoors, should be okay. Those storms will fizzle out. Tomorrow morning, as we start today, 9 a.m., you can see some showers possibly around west central Florida in the morning. We have this little westerly regime to our wind flow, and that means we'll see the possibility of a few coastal showers right along the coast in the morning, and then the heavier rain, if there's going to be any storms at all, will be into central Florida. Those will have a tendency to push off toward the east coast. So we're in this pattern. It'll stick around Sunday too. That means our rain chances are going to be fairly small, both on Saturday and Sunday here along the sun coast. The water vapor imagery showing this low spinning right there. That's that mid to upper level low right now. It's going to enhance the storms closer to the center of that, and we have a little weak trough out here in the Gulf of Mexico as well. For us, though, we'll stay relatively dry for this time of year. This is an amazing system that has developed to this far south in latitude, and it's the hurricane. There's only been 3 since 1950 hurricanes to develop in the Atlantic prior to August 1st, and you can see that system was a little bit better organized earlier. This is Beryl, expected to make landfall into the Leeward Islands as a Category 2 hurricane and then march off to the west-northwest. Top winds are at 80 right now. They could get up as high as 100 miles an hour. And most of the forecasts agree with this track and forecast off toward the west-northwest and eventually becoming a tropical storm as it makes its way toward the Dominican Republic. We'll have to watch it closely. Not a problem for us, but for a lot of folks who go on cruises, it may disrupt their plans a little bit. This, too, may cause some problems to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This has a real good chance of developing. It's just to the west of Bermuda now, and you can see there's where the X is. That's where the low-pressure center is. Still being sheared right now, but an 80% chance of developing over the next 5 days, 70 over the next 2 days. And in that red area is where the storm center is going to eventually be. That, again, puts the Carolina coast very close, and you see it kind of just dancing around there. The spaghetti models eventually all agree that a front will pick it up and carry it off into the North Atlantic. So it bears watching, though. A couple of the models put it right there along the Outer Banks of North Carolina in about 3 to 4 days from now. Currently, we have 86 degrees right now. We have some high clouds around, and the heat index, not too bad, 91. As far as the forecast goes tomorrow, we'll see a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. High temperatures will warm into the upper 80s, and the heat index not unbearable, but into the mid-90s throughout the afternoon. We will see a little chance for scattered showers and storms. Temperatures around the U.S. For highs tomorrow, cooling down over the Northeast and throughout the Great Lakes after a very excessive day of hot temperatures over the past couple of days. Well, the forecast for boaters, a few morning showers near the coast possible. Winds out of the southeast turning to the southwest at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be less than 2 feet. And the extended forecast, 20% chance on Saturday, 30 only on Sunday, and those will be mainly inland. We get back to a good chance for scattered storms Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And some of that moisture from Beryl may eventually work its way into our area on Thursday and Friday. Just the moisture. We don't anticipate it to be any kind of huge windstorm for us here. But you can track Beryl as well as possibly Chris on your iPhone. That's right, or your Droid, whatever it may be. Just go to your app store and download the ABC7 WWSB First Alert weather app, and that has an automatic update on tropical tracks. So just as you saw where I had the hurricane on a cone of uncertainty, that comes right on your phone as well. So if you're out and about, you can kind of keep it up to date on that particular storm.
Yeah, just one of the many things it does.
That's right.
Let's talk about some weather happening across the country right now, Bob. Dust storms taking over parts of Arizona. Take a look at this. This is video of dust moving into the Phoenix area. It limited visibility, and it was impacting drivers through Tucson, from Tucson through Phoenix, many of them having to pull over until the conditions improve there.
Yeah, and the winds also caused some property damage with the reports of downed trees across the area. Dust storms occur when the front of a thunderstorm cell pushes down airward, downward, and forward. We have it here when the storm moves through. It creates those roll clouds and also those shelf clouds. But this kind of kicks up the dust into the air, resulting in reduced visibility. These are also referred sometimes and referred to as haboobs.
Well, let's get to Colorado, where the spring fire keeps getting bigger. It's now at 100,000 acres. Evacuation is still in place for those in the southern part of the state. That fire now the third largest in state history. 132 homes have been destroyed so far. More than 1,000 firefighters are working on putting this thing out, but their progress has been slow, mainly because of the hot and dry conditions.
There's some better news, though. Relative humidity in the area was expected to climb up to 30%, which isn't really high for us, but it is for them, up from mostly single digits and low teen levels over the past several weeks. Thankfully, there's a 50% chance for, unfortunately, thunderstorms, which can spark other fires. But for today, firefighters are hoping rain will help with that stubborn fire. It has been devastating with all those homes destroyed.
Yeah, as you said, they want the rain, but not the lightning, which could cause some more. Well, there's more to come on ABC 7's News at 4. Movie pass holders will soon be paying more for tickets to some newly released movies. Plus, how Amazon is going old school and taking on a trait from Toys R Us for the holidays.
I'm Stephanie Roberts. Coming up Monday morning at 9 on Suncoast View, it is Monday Movie Madness. Our movie guy looks at what's new on the big and small screens, plus a performance from Florida Studio Theater as they preview Murder for Two. That's all coming up Monday morning at 9. Have a great weekend.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. We're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Monday at 5 on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Webb. Contractors for the City of Venice are scheduled to start work on the downtown roadway improvements project. We'll tell you just how long it's expected to take Monday on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
So we watch an area of westerly wind develop. That flow favors morning showers near the coast and inland showers later in the day. We'll see if that lasts this week.
Monday at 5 on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
New tariffs on Chinese imports are now in effect. The Trump administration slapped tariffs on about $34 billion in Chinese goods. China is promising tariffs of its own on American goods like soybeans, whiskey, and SUVs. The Trump administration has threatened to hit China with even more tariffs down the road. More Americans are getting to work. Businesses across the country adding 177,000 jobs last month, with the biggest increase in education and healthcare related jobs. Companies with 50 or more workers did the most hiring. The unemployment rate now sitting at 3.8%. MoviePass users will have to pay more to see some blockbusters, the app announcing peak pricing. For $10 a month, customers can see a movie per day, but that bargain price will not apply to all titles and times. For example, a nighttime showing of the latest blockbuster could cost users a few extra dollars to book. And MoviePass will tip customers off to win surge pricing might be added for a particular show. Well, Amazon is going old school. The company is reportedly planning to print up a toy catalog for the holidays. A lot like the one Toys R Us used to print before it went bankrupt earlier this year. Back to Bob now for your evening forecast.
Scott, all day it's been kind of cloudy out there. Not the best tanning weather, if you will. The beaches still, though, a lot of people on them. You can see this starts off at 2 o'clock. Still those mid to high level clouds around due to a little weak, low pressure area. Looks like it's going to stay there, too. We'll see some breaks in the clouds. We may get a pretty good sunset in some areas. Others may not. We are looking for pleasant beach walking weather, though. Not a problem. And looks like it'll stay that way across the entire Suncoast, for that matter, through the night. Just a little bit more cloudiness around than you normally see. Temperatures, though, will be quite comfortable in the mid-70s by 11 o'clock tonight. We're expecting overnight lows to stay right around 76 degrees. As far as rainfall goes, it's quiet considering what we've been through over the past several days. Right now, no rain to depict over Manatee County, Sarasota County. Some showers close into Charlotte now. That one little area did create a little outflow boundary, which popped up some cells near Rotunda. And you can see that there's the storm initially near Punta Gorda. And then that created that outflow boundary, similar to what we told you about the dust storm. They create these little miniature cold fronts, if you will. And that in turn created this storm right there near 776. And that too could create some other showers down the road just to the west and northwest of Inglewood, it looks like. We'll keep an eye on that for you. This storm, by the way, is starting to weaken. It had been at 40,000 feet. It's down to about 25 to 30. Well, much more on Beryl, which is now the first hurricane of the season, and an update on what could be Chris. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. We're just getting started here. Jacqueline is in the newsroom now with a look at some of the stories we're working on for tonight. Jacqueline?
Scott, a family came to vacation in Sarasota but walked away with an uneasy stomach after finding a racial slur on a letter in their hotel room. Coming up tonight at 5, we'll hear from the family and what the hotel is doing about the unwanted hospitality. And at 6, a Bradenton Charter Elementary School is celebrating their dramatic improvement in test scores. Hear what parents think about the impact it will have for future students. And at 7, President Trump is narrowing down his list of candidates who will take an open seat on the Supreme Court. Those stories coming up tonight at 5.